Okay, let's be real. Applying for Social Security disability can feel like trying to solve a giant, frustrating maze, you know? It's complex, it's frustrating, and for so many people, it just ends in denial. But what if the biggest hurdles weren't the rules themselves, but actually simple, avoidable mistakes? Well, today we're going to break down the top errors that completely derail applications and show you exactly how to steer clear of them.
But first, let's just talk about the stakes here. I mean, to really get why avoiding these mistakes is so critical, you need to see the numbers. And let me tell you, the reality painted by the Social Security Administration, it's pretty stark.
More than 60%.
Yeah, that's the staggering national denial rate for initial Social Security disability claims. It's a massive wall to climb at the very first step, and it leaves so many deserving people without the support they desperately need.
So, what's going on here? Is the system just designed to say no? Well, not exactly. The truth is, a huge number of these denials aren't because a claim has no merit. It's because of preventable errors made during the application process. And those are the very errors we're going to fix right now.
A successful claim? It starts long before you even fill out a single form. Seriously. The groundwork you lay at the very beginning is everything. And this is where the first two major mistakes often trip people up right out of the gate.
Mistake number 1, waiting too long to apply. Look, procrastination is an absolute killer for these claims. People often wait, right? Maybe they're hoping they'll get better, or they're just intimidated by the whole process. But here's the thing you have to know. Disability benefits are often only retroactive to your application date. So every single month you delay could be a month of payments you're entitled to, but will never, ever get back.
And the second big mistake is applying for the wrong program entirely. This is such a common point of confusion. You see, the Social Security Administration runs two totally distinct disability programs, and they are not interchangeable. Getting this right from the very start is just fundamental.
So let's make this super simple. Think of SSDI as an insurance program. It's the one you've been paying into through taxes while you worked. So your eligibility is based on those work credits. Now, SSI, on the other hand, is a needs-based program. It's for people with very limited income and resources, and it doesn't matter what your work history is. Applying for the wrong one is, well, an immediate dead end.
All right, so once you know when and which program to apply for, your application becomes your story. And let me tell you, every story you tell the government needs powerful, undeniable evidence. This is the absolute heart of your case, and it's where the next set of common and, frankly, devastating mistakes are made.
So mistake number 3 is giving incomplete or just plain inaccurate information. Precision is everything here. The application demands exact details, and something like a forgotten doctor's visit, a misstated job duty, or an underreported symptom can raise immediate red flags. To a claims examiner, omissions can look like you're hiding something, or maybe that your condition isn't as severe as you say.
And now for the big one. Mistake number 4, submitting weak medical evidence. This is the absolute cornerstone of your entire claim. I cannot stress this enough. Vague doctor's notes or a single diagnosis from 2 years ago, it just won't cut it. The SSA needs to see comprehensive, current proof that details your condition's severity and, this is the most important part, exactly how it limits your ability to function and work today.
You see, a strong medical file isn't just one thing. It's a whole puzzle. Your formal medical records are the biggest piece, sure, but they have to be supported by specific statements from your doctor about your limitations, objective diagnostic tests like MRIs, and a really consistent treatment history. Altogether, these things create the complete, undeniable picture of your disability that the SSA needs to see.
Okay, mistake number 5 is what I'd call a technical knockout, earning too much money while you're applying. You can work a little bit, but if the SSA sees you're earning above a certain amount, they'll simply decide you're not disabled. It doesn't matter what your MRI says. They call this substantial gainful activity, or SGA.
So what is SGA officially? Well, it's basically an earnings limit the SSA sets every year as a simple test. The logic is pretty straightforward. If you can earn that much money, you must be doing substantial work, and therefore you aren't disabled, according to their definition. It's a very black and white rule.
And here is the hard number you absolutely need to know. For 2025, that monthly income limit for non-blind individuals is $1,550. Earning even one single dollar over this amount can trigger an automatic technical denial, often before your medical evidence is even looked at.
So you've built your case, you've submitted your application, now the waiting game begins. But your job isn't over. not by a long shot. Your actions during this period and how you respond to the final decision are just as critical, and they're home to the last set of mistakes we're going to talk about.
Mistake number 6, failing to follow your doctor's orders. The SSA is going to be looking at your ongoing medical care. So if you're skipping appointments or not following through with treatments your doctor prescribed, they might just assume your condition isn't as limiting as you claim. Now, if you have a good reason, like you can't afford a medication, you need to make sure your doctor documents it.
Remember that 60% denial rate we talked about? Well, that leads us to the single most devastating mistake people make, giving up after a denial. It's emotionally crushing, I get it, to get that letter, but you have to understand that a denial is not the end. In this system, it's often just an expected part of the process.
And the good news is, there is a structured 4-level appeal process. It starts with reconsideration, then you get a hearing before a judge, after that a review from the appeals council, and finally federal court. The point is, you get multiple chances to make your case.
And here's why this is so important. Your odds of getting approved often go way up on appeal. That hearing level, in particular, is where many claims are finally won. Why? Because it's your first and best chance to speak directly to a judge and actually explain your story in person.
But, and this is a big but, and mistake number 8, there's a catch with appeals. The entire process runs on strict, non-negotiable deadlines. If you miss the window to file your appeal, your case is just closed. You often have to start the entire months-long application process all over again from scratch. It's brutal.
And that window? It's 60 days. From the day you receive your denial letter, the clock starts ticking. You have just 60 days to file for an appeal. This is a hard deadline. It's one you absolutely cannot miss.
Wow, okay. We've covered a lot of ground, from the mistakes made way back in preparation and evidence gathering, all the way to the critical errors people make after getting a decision. The path is definitely challenging, but by just sidestepping these pitfalls, you can build a much stronger case.
So let's just boil it down to the absolute essentials. File as soon as you are unable to work. Build a fortress of medical evidence. Know the income limits and stay under them. And most importantly, never give up after a denial and never, ever miss a deadline. This kind of leads to a final, implied mistake, trying to navigate this incredibly complex system all by yourself. Just remember, getting help from a professional who does this every single day can dramatically increase your odds.
You know, at the end of the day, your application is the official story of your disability. It has to be clear, it has to be compelling, it has to be complete, and it has to be correct. So as we close out, I want you to ask yourself this one simple question. Is your application telling its strongest possible story? Because making sure it does, that's the key to getting the support you truly need and deserve.